The ground shakes, the oceans roar, and in the silence of the night, something ancient awakens. For decades, humanity believed the age of monsters was over. But they were wrong. Because the king has returned. Far beneath the clouds and mountains, in the darkest corners of the earth, a heartbeat echoes. Slow, powerful, and unstoppable. That sound does not belong to a man, nor to a machine. It belongs to the most feared creature the world has ever known. A titan who has been tested by fire, scarred by battles, and yet has never been defeated. His name is whispered across history. Kong. The world thought it had seen the last of him. The stories faded, the images buried in old files, and the warnings of the past drowned out by human pride. But nature never forgets. And nature never forgives. In 2025, the silence breaks. The skies grow dark, the forests tremble, and the oceans rise in violent waves. All signs point to one truth. The king is awakening, but this is not the Kong the world remembers. He is older now, stronger, and far more dangerous. His massive form towers like a living mountain, his fur streaked with the scars of battles past, his eyes burning with intelligence and rage. He is not just an animal. He is a force of nature, a god of the wild. And as he rises once more, the earth itself seems to bend beneath his power. Scientists watch in terror as their instruments spike unexplained. Energy readings, violent quakes, and magnetic disturbances across continents. The ancient myths that once felt like legends now reveal themselves as truth. Humanity, with all its weapons and machines, stands small against what is coming, because Kong's return is not just a rebirth, it is a warning. The balance of the planet is shifting, and he has risen to face it. He was once a protector of his island, but now the entire earth calls him. Something darker, more terrifying than ever before, is stirring in the shadows. And Kong knows. He feels it. Every scar on his body is a story of survival, and every roar is a challenge to those who dare threaten his reign. The air grows heavy as storms gather. Lightning cracks across the sky, illuminating his colossal frame as he stands tall against the horizon. The ground splits as he moves, each step shaking the earth like thunder. And in that moment, one truth becomes clear. The legend is no longer a myth. He is real, he is here. And his war is just beginning. The people who once doubted now watch in awe and fear. Soldiers prepare for battle, cities go on high alert, and the world holds its breath. But no weapon of man can cage him, no wall can stop him. For he is not here to bow. He is here to rise. The legend of King Kong is no bedtime story, it is a prophecy. And in 2025, that prophecy comes alive once again. The earth does not tremble for one titan alone. Kong's awakening has sent ripples across the planet, and those ripples have reached the darkest corners of the oceans, the deepest caverns beneath mountains, and the long-forgotten ruins of civilizations that came before mankind. Something stirs. Something ancient. Something hungry. The world has always believed humans were at the top of the food chain. But with every roar that shakes the skies, with every tremor that splits the ground, a new truth emerges. We are intruders on a planet ruled by titans. And now, they are answering Kong's call. Across the Pacific, a shadow rises from the depths. Waves tower higher than skyscrapers as a colossal shape cuts through the water. Its scales glisten under the storm, its eyes burning like fire in the abyss. This is no ordinary beast, it is a rival, a creature as old as the earth itself, one whose only purpose is to dominate. Far across deserts, the sands shift violently. The dunes rise and collapse as something massive tunnels beneath, faster than the eye can follow. Entire landscapes crumble in seconds, swallowed by the hunger of a creature that has slept for centuries. Humanity's machines are useless against it. Their weapons nothing but sparks against an armored hide, and in the sky, wings spread wide enough to block the sun. A titan born of the storm, its screeches cutting through clouds, lightning flashing with every beat of its wings. Where it flies, chaos follows. Crops burn, cities drown, forests fall into silence. It is not a predator, it is destruction itself. Wrapped in feathers and fury. Scientists warn the governments of the world. These are not accidents. not natural disasters. They are awakenings. The Earth is unleashing its arsenal, one monster at a time, as though testing humanity's right to survive. And at the center of it all stands Kong, the one Titan who refuses to bow, but even Kong cannot fight shadows alone. For every rival that rises, another waits in silence, waiting for the perfect time to strike. And as the world braces for the storm, a terrifying realization begins to spread. This is not simply a battle for survival. It is a war for dominance. A war that will decide who rules the Earth. Military leaders gather, satellites scan the skies, and fleets circle the oceans, but the truth is clear. Humanity is powerless in this conflict. Their weapons, no matter how advanced, cannot match the raw power of creatures forged by the very birth of the planet. The Titans do not care about politics, borders, or treaties. They fight only for territory instinct, for supremacy, and Kong. Kong is the spark that has ignited it all. His return is both a promise and a challenge. The other Titans see him not as a protector, but as a threat to their reign. To them, he is not a king, he is a rival. And rivals must be crushed. The skies darken as storms gather over the oceans. The ground splits open as tremors spread across continents. Cities go silent, their lights dimming one by one as the world watches the horizon in fear. Somewhere out there, Titans are moving closer. Somewhere out there, the first battles are already beginning. This is not the end of days. This is the beginning of war. A war written not in human history, but in the bones of the Earth itself. And as the Titans rise to claim their place, mankind finally understands the truth. They are no longer the masters of this planet. They are simply witnesses. Witnesses to the rise of conflict. Kong roars into the night, his cry echoing across oceans and mountains, shaking the hearts of all who hear it. It is not a cry of fear. It is a declaration. A promise that he will fight. A promise that no matter how many rivals rise, no matter how powerful they may be, he will not surrender. For he is more than a Titan. He is the king, and the war for the crown has only just begun. Asterisk. The silence of fear shatters when the first Titan steps out of the shadows. The ocean splits, waves rising like mountains as a scaled monster bursts into the light. Its roar shakes the skies, a thunderous challenge hurled across the horizon. And before the world can breathe, the answer comes. Kong roars back. This is no mere sound, it is war-given voice. The earth trembles as two colossal forces charge toward one another, their footsteps cracking the crust of the planet. When they collide, it is as though continents themselves are smashing together. Stone shatters. Trees collapse. Cities shake under the weight of the battle. Humanity watches from a distance, powerless. Like ants watching giants trample the ground around them, Kong strikes first, his fists pounding against the armored hide of his rival. Every punch lands like a meteor, shaking the air with shockwaves. The beast snaps back with fangs that could slice steel, its tail slamming into Kong with the force of a collapsing skyscraper. Blood stains the ground, and the war begins in earnest. Far away, another Titan rises. From the sand-choked deserts, the great burrower erupts, its maw wide enough to swallow entire streets. It does not wait, it does not hesitate, it senses weakness and surges toward the battle. Now, the war is no longer between two. It is an all-out clash. The sky darkens as storm clouds twist into spirals. Then a screech pierces the heavens. A winged terror descends, its wings blotting out the sun, lightning chasing its every move. The battlefield is now chaos. 4 Titans, each one a force of destruction, converging in a single storm of violence. And at the center of it all is Kong, his roars cut through the thunder, his strikes tearing through flesh and stone alike. He leaps, dodges, and adapts, using not only his strength but his cunning. He rips boulders from the earth and hurls them like weapons. He turns wreckage into tools, and with every move, he proves he is more than just muscle. He is a warrior, but the cost is high. The ground collapses under their weight, cities crumble in the distance, and oceans flood coastlines as Titans thrash and clash. Ships are tossed aside like toys, skyscrapers topple like dominoes, and fire spreads across the horizon. Humanity can only watch in awe and terror as their world is torn apart by creatures they cannot control. The battle rages for hours. Every strike, every roar, every clash of Titan against Titan leaves scars on the earth itself. The deserts are torn into valleys, the oceans churn into whirlpools, the skies burn with storms. And yet, even in this chaos, one truth begins to rise. Kong does not back down. He takes the strikes. He bleeds. He falls, only to rise again. His fists slam into the ground, his roar shakes the air, and his enemies feel the force of a king who will not surrender. One by one, he drives them back, not with ease but with will. His scars are deep, his body battered, but his spirit is unbroken. The world watches in silence. Their machines recording every moment, their eyes fixed on the colossal war. And in every home, in every city, one question spreads: is this the end of the world, or the beginning of something greater? The Titans scream, the earth quakes, and Kong stands tall in the center of chaos. For this is no longer a fight for territory. This is no longer about survival. This is about the crown. This is about proving who is the ruler of all Titans. And as the sun sets, the battlefield is drenched in fire and blood. The clashes continue, but one roar rises above all others. A roar so mighty, so relentless, that it silences even the storm. The king does not fall. The king fights. The king rises, and the world will never be the same. The battlefield lies in ruins. Smoke rises into the sky like black rivers, carrying with it the ashes of shattered cities. Fires burn across the horizon, lighting the night with a dull red glow. The ground, once solid, is torn open by craters and scars that stretch for miles. The oceans are restless, waves still surging from the chaos of battle. For a moment, the world is silent, as though even nature itself is holding its breath. Out of the silence, movement stirs. Shadows shift through the smoke, and broken Titans lie scattered across the wasteland. Some retreat into the depths from which they came, their bodies beaten, their pride broken. Others lie still, their reign ended in the clash of giants. But one figure does not fall. One figure rises through the haze, his form appears scarred, bloodied, yet unbroken. His chest heaves with every breath, his body towering like a living mountain. His fur is streaked with dirt and fire, but his eyes burn brighter than ever before. This is not the Kong the world once knew. This is Kong reborn. The Titan King. Every step he takes sends tremors through the ground. The air bends under the weight of his roar, a sound so primal that it echoes across continents. It is not simply a cry of victory, it is a declaration of rule. The war of monsters has been fought, and the earth has chosen its king. Humans watch from the wreckage of their machines, from broken towers, from ships tossed like leaves in a storm. Soldiers who once aimed weapons at him now lower them in awe. Scientists who once studied him in fear now write in silence, unable to comprehend the power before them. For all their efforts, for all their plans, humanity could not decide the fate of this planet. The Titans did. And Kong stands as the last one standing, but his victory is not without meaning. For the earth itself begins to change. Storms calm, tremors slow, and the oceans settle. It is as if nature itself bows before its champion. The balance, once threatened by rivals, has been restored. And in that balance a new era begins. An era ruled not by man, but by a king who has risen through fire and blood. Kong stands on the highest peak, the ruins of the battlefield stretching below him. His gaze cuts across the horizon, not of anger, not of hunger, but of watchful command. He is no tyrant, no mindless beast. He is a guardian, a force bound to the earth, and the earth answers to him. The dawn rises behind him, painting the sky gold, and his silhouette becomes a symbol of power, of survival, of dominance. The legend has ended. A new story begins, no longer whispered in fear, no longer dismissed as myth. His name will echo through generations. Children will hear the tale of the Titan King who rose when the world was at its breaking point. The protector who fought not for glory, but for the right to exist, and as the sun lifts higher, one final roar splits the heavens. A roar that shakes mountains, scatters clouds, and drives into the hearts of all who hear it. A roar that says, "The war is over." The king has risen. The camera pulls back. The earth, scarred but alive, glows beneath the dawn light. The ashes of battle fade into the wind. And standing tall, unchallenged, is Kong the Last Titan. The Eternal King. The title slams onto the screen. King Kong 2025. Rise of the Titan. The ultimate battles begin. And then, darkness, silence, a heartbeat. The promise of war is yet to come.